Welcome to another edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're here to give you a whip-around look at some of the biggest news stories coming out of the sports betting industry over the past week. Press releases, info at turnpikesportsradio.com, and you can catch the show on your smart TV on Roku, Amazon Fire, as well as Apple TV. You can watch it on our website, turnpikesports.us, and you can also catch it on Samsung Podcasts, Amazon Music, as well as Pandora Podcasts. This week, in our state and national reports, we've got some Kentucky numbers to discuss.
Yes.
By the time this airs, they will have launched their online industry in the state. Before press time, we didn't have a chance to cover that, so we'll be talking about that at a later episode of the book report. We've also got benchmarks coming out of Virginia. We've got New York, Louisiana. We've got some iGaming national benchmarks to talk about.
Yes,
as well as
interesting numbers.
As well as an interesting number coming out of Mississippi, by the way. Deals, we've got a Canadian Football League deal to talk about. We've got a Kindbridge responsible gambling and problem gambling deal to talk about as well. We've got Prohibet, of course, as well as U.S. Integrity, and also a deal involving Huddle.
Okay.
Industry updates. Looks like we've got another fantasy sports war brewing, this time in Florida. Also, we've got an update coming in from Caesars, as well as a responsible gambling tool on the technology side that's just been launched.
Okay.
And then we're going to round out the show with our legislative roundup. We've got news out of North Carolina, Maryland, and New Jersey. We'll start talking our state and national reports right after this.
Percent of falls in the home occur in the bathroom. Don't put yourself or a loved one at risk. There's a safe bathing system for everyone's budget.
Enjoy a bathing experience that combines safety, comfort, and excellence. If assisted living is not for you, a BCI walk-in tub may well be the answer, giving you the safety and freedom to live independently. A BCI walk-in tub is the most affordable and comfortable walk-in tub in the market today. With our dual drain technology, your tub will drain quickly, and for those that still like the feature of a shower, our two-way bliss gives you both a handheld and overhead shower head. We offer the best financing in the industry with payments as low as $99 per month or no interest, no payments for 18 months with approved credit. For comfort, safety, price, and selection, it's got to be BCI Walk-In Tub. Be one of the first 50 callers and save $1,500.
Call 800-354-4377, 800-354-4377 for a free no-obligation in-home consultation.
Attention. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, watch this urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by hiring 87,000 new agents to garnish your paycheck and put liens on homes and businesses. They can even seize your bank account. The IRS calls it enforced compliance, and now they have the manpower to get you. Penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily. So call One Stop Tax Relief Shop and get the IRS off your back. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. And no other tax shop gets you more or faster approvals. One Stop Tax Relief has resolved thousands of cases since 2014 and saved clients millions of dollars. Call now for a free consultation. Connect with tax professionals who get the IRS off your back.
Call 800-605-0688. 800-605-0688.
One Stop Tax Relief Shop.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. Kentucky. Kentucky, by the time this airs, Kentucky will have launched their online sports betting industry. They had previously launched their retail sports betting industry earlier the month of September.
By the way, in record time, too. You can't stress how quickly Kentucky moved with their sports betting industry.
Kentucky just set the record.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Kentucky actually may be the state other states need to look to in terms of
legalization
to launch, because they did it not only fast, They did it smoothly.
Yeah. So what was it? The state before Kentucky, Kansas was the fastest?
We're in the K's.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
But according to Governor Beshear over in Kentucky, the first 2 weekends of legalized sports betting, which was only retail, $4.5 million in wagers placed, and over 60,000 online sports betting accounts were registered prior to the launch on Thursday, September 28th in the state.
Okay.
Impressive numbers right off the bat.
Yes, very.
Speaking of impressive numbers, we're going over to the Commonwealth of Virginia. The state just released their figures for sports betting for their fiscal year 2023. And in terms of tax revenue, which was a very interesting number to see here, $67 million in tax revenue for fiscal year 2023.
I love what Virginia's doing, even in their entire gambling industry. I mean, they launched casinos. They got some pretty good poker rooms. Yes. So it's really great to see what Virginia's doing.
Their state tax revenue jumped $27 million year to year. 2022 was $27 million less than what 2023 was. And according to the state study 4 years ago that was released right before the actual sports betting industry in Virginia launched, they were projecting a maximum of $55 million in tax revenue at maturity. They've already blown past that. $67 million. They projected $55 million by this time.
Wow.
So they're way ahead of projections.
Great.
Over in Pennsylvania, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania did their August sports betting numbers. All-time handle has passed $23 billion. All-time adjusted gaming revenue, because Pennsylvania is still one of the states that takes out for promotions and other deductions.
Yeah.
Adjusted gaming revenue for Pennsylvania passed $1.3 billion. One of the other interesting aspects of the August report was the DraftKings FanDuel battle in the state. Every time we talk these different states, it's one or the other.
I know they're battling it out. New York is an interesting situation between FanDuel and DraftKings. Oh, okay, you're going to get to it. No, but
you're going to love the New York numbers.
It seems like they're going head to head in a lot of states.
This was one of the rare times in Pennsylvania that DraftKings beat FanDuel both in handle and revenue.
DraftKings has had a really good couple of months.
Yes, and if you think about it, in July, the gap had closed from was 40 to 27% market share, FanDuel versus DraftKings, 40% for FanDuel. In August, it's 36% FanDuel, 30.6% for DraftKings. They're closing the gap in terms of market share as well.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, they're having a good couple of weeks.
Yes.
So
over in Louisiana released their August sports betting numbers. The state went over $2.5 billion in handle for the fiscal year of 2023, or the current fiscal year, I should say. Now we're going back over to New York because you just mentioned the New York battle there. First, the week ending September 17th, $400 million handle. It was over $400 million. Second straight week for a weekly handle to be over $400 million. That actually hadn't been done since March 19th.
Wow. Okay.
So. First 2 weeks of NFL football. First 2 weeks of $400 million again. Yeah,
there you go.
Regarding the DraftKings FanDuel battle, listen to these. Over the first 2 weeks, FanDuel's handle market share, 41%. That went up. DraftKings handle market share, 39%. Went up. You look at who paid the price, Caesars and BetMGM. Both went down. Caesars went down to 10%. BetMGM went down to 6% of the market share in New York.
Wow.
Now, the week of ending September 17th.
By the way, those are the big four. There are others mobile.
Oh, yeah, much lower.
So there's others in the mix there.
And again, here we have another situation like Pennsylvania. That week, the week ending September 17th, DraftKings led FanDuel in both handle and revenue.
Wow.
Not much, but it was enough of a difference.
Hey, I mean, for a year now, it's been FanDuel in New York who's been the king there.
And over the first 2 weeks of the NFL, for revenue, FanDuel has a 51% market share still. DraftKings, 35%. So FanDuel still has the lead.
Yeah.
But DraftKings at times has closed.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, they're doing really great.
State of New York with their week of September 17th report, fiscal year-to-date handle. They run their fiscal years kind of weird to start April 1st, as a matter of fact. Their new fiscal year. $7 billion it passed already for the current fiscal year.
What is that?
That's the handle
Wow.
for mobile industry handle. And also fiscal year-to-date revenue passed $700 million. And the year-to-date, this is not the fiscal year, this is from January 1st to current, $12 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, in the state of New York.
Pretty impressive.
Yes. Now, normally we end the segment talking New York, but we've got some iGaming numbers. I thought we'd stretch our legs a little bit and go
Okay.
iGaming walking
That's
here.
good.
Just two quick numbers here. Total iGaming revenue for August 2023 in the 6 states that offer iGaming, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Connecticut, West Virginia, and Delaware. Those are the 6 states. Total iGaming revenue totaled $516 million for August, compared to $394 million that time last year.
Wow.
Good year-over-year jump of about 25%.
Great.
Also, it was the first time in the history of the iGaming states that they have combined for a total win, revenue-wise, of more than $500 million.
Wow, that's impressive.
So, very, very interesting numbers coming out of iGaming. It should make iGaming more and more attractive the way these 6 states are succeeding.
I don't know what the hesitation is with other states allowing iGaming. Certainly, we talk about a lot of sports betting here, but in New Jersey anyway, all our sports betting apps on our phones and mobile sports betting platforms have casinos attached to them, iGaming. So, I don't see what the hang up is. All the states are really excited to allow sports betting, but they're not really excited to allow iGaming, and I'm not sure what the reasons are.
Everybody's got different reasons.
Yeah, everyone has different reasons.
That's it for the state and national reports. Let's head on over to some deals. Going to start up the deals segment this week, going up to Canada. The Canadian Football League announced that 888 will be the official authorized gaming operator for the league when it comes to the rivalry games that they call these, and they're going to be called the 888 rivalry games.
Oh, okay. I gotta be honest with you, man. I used to watch Canadian football when I was younger. I knew all the teams and things like that. I haven't seen a lot of Canadian football the last couple of years.
It's a very interesting season, and also I don't know when the games are on. That's the other issue.
Well,
I mean, they televise them.
I think I've seen them on ESPN.
I've seen them just about every couple
curious
different
to see if
places.
they still have them.
Yeah.
So,
but 888 will be the official authorized gaming operator for the league when it comes to the rivalry games. What that means is the Eastern Division team squaring off in playoff determining matchups. That's how the press release worded it.
All right.
You're going to see 888 advertisements with signage at the stadiums during the broadcast, all across the CFL, the Canadian Football League's digital platforms.
Okay.
They're also going to be doing specially, activations for fans of the CFL.
Okay. All right.
Coming back into the United States, we've got a deal involving Kindbridge. Kindbridge Behavioral Health announced a partnership with BetMGM in Colorado.
A very interesting organization. We did an interview with Daniel Umfleet.
Yes.
From Kindbridge.
Very interesting deal they have here. They're calling it a groundbreaking program in Colorado, which, according to the release, will revolutionize the way problem gamblers access essential mental health services.
Great.
Now, we did a story last week. Colorado had just launched their self-exclusion program.
Yes.
With what they're doing here, the partnership between Kindbridge and BetMGM, when somebody goes through the BetMGM site and self-excludes, they will be given access to mental health resources provided by Kindbridge.
Great.
As a matter of fact, the pilot program not only provides the resources for people to learn about their problem gambling or gambling addiction, however you want to phrase it, they're also going to be able to schedule appointments through the pilot program for their thinking if they feel they have a gambling addiction issue or if they have questions or whatever.
Kindbridge is doing amazing things, and good for BetMGM getting involved with that. So.
Yes. And gamblers who do self-exclude from the BetMGM platform in Colorado will now be able to receive a complimentary mental health assessment when they do the self-exclusion.
Good, yeah.
Which is very nice to see.
Great, it's awesome.
Yes. Yeah. A couple of deals involving Prohibet, U.S. Integrity. Q Casino and Prohibet announced a partnership for Q Casino to take advantage of The program under the Prohibet umbrella, which is U.S. Integrity is a part of. The SB22, which is a sportsbook operator. They're headquartered in Texas, by the way.
Okay.
Did a deal with U.S. Integrity. It's a partnership where they're going to incorporate U.S. Integrity's monitoring tools into their software for the sportsbook platforms that they offer, as well as their kiosks that they do. By the way, SB22 just recently launched a brand new betting system for their kiosks.
Great. Okay.
It's almost like a pre-made parlay or something.
Oh, okay.
Or actually an intelligent parlay system, I think it was called. But they're going to have Prohibet integrated into their systems and their software. They're also going to be able to involve Prohibets into their other products, which is an Apple Watch betting application.
Wow. Okay.
As well as they also created what they're calling the first VR betting platform. I have not seen the software.
Interesting. Wow.
But the Apple Watch betting application is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I have like such crappy eyesight. I have, I really got to strain to do it on my phone. I can't even imagine doing it on a watch.
The one thing I don't understand about the watch is, maybe someone can actually email and explain this to me, but do you need the phone with you when you have the watch on?
I don't know. I'm not an Apple guy.
I don't have any Apple.
I have Android, so I don't know. Are there Android watches that you can get? Okay, so just Apple.
Just Apple.
Okay. Well,
I shouldn't say that.
Well,
Somebody's probably got something.
See, my like I said, my eyesight's so crappy. I'm straining to see it with on my phone. I can't even imagine placing a bet on my an Apple Watch. So
well, last deal of the day, we've got Huddle doing a deal with Better Gaming, BETR.
Okay.
Huddle is a software application platform. Markets, betting markets, different player markets, as well as the core platform for sports betting operators. Better Gaming will be incorporating Huddle's software and analytics into their platform, especially for the launch of V1, which is their new sportsbook platform, planning to launch next year in the United States.
Okay.
They're also going to be using it for better picks.
Okay.
That's it for the deals. We're going to talk industry updates right after this.
Every 40 seconds, a kid is reported missing. Find the Children provides educational material that teaches your kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs are very successful in bringing kids back home to their family. You can help protect our kids and bring the missing kids home safe by donating your unwanted car, truck, SUV, or van, running or not. We guarantee you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast free pickup, usually within 24 hours. Over 2,000 kids are reported missing every day. Call now to donate your vehicle. Donate now to bring these kids home safe.
Call 800-934-2260. 800-934-2260. 800-934-2260.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're going to talk industry updates in this segment. We're going to start off down in Florida. Florida seems to be the battleground for a new fantasy sports war brewing.
Florida seems like a mess right now. I mean, in terms of gaming and things, everything is so up in the air and so uncertain. And, it's such a great market. It's such a big populated state. You want to get everything going in Florida, but my God, what's going on in Florida?
Well, it's almost got the feel of, well, we can't launch sports betting, so let's do something else. That's what it feels like.
Well,
we just finished with
the fantasy stuff is crazy too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. While we're waiting for sports betting to launch, they got nothing else to do, so now they're going to go after fantasy
let's
operators.
Screw up fantasy.
And what we're talking about is Florida gaming regulators sent cease and desist letters to Better, which we just talked about in the previous segment, Prize Picks, and Underdog Sports in the state of Florida. Cease and desist, stop the prop betting, basically. That's what's going on.
I just saw a commercial for, I think it was Prize Picks. I also saw Underdog Fantasy.
Underdog's advertising everywhere.
Up here in New Jersey, so.
But they have received cease and desist letters. According to the letters, gaming regulators have stated that they received information that, and this is how the letters were phrased, it was the same letter everyone got, that your company may be offering or accepting illegal bets or wagers from Florida residents.
Okay.
And they actually went on to say in the letter that if it's not part of the compact, you can't offer sports betting. So they're actually working that compact into all this.
So they're combining fantasy with
these are the prop bets that come across as sports betting.
Okay.
And that every state's been looking at this a little harder lately. And I think it's a matter of the individual game prop bets that are being offered as under the auspices of fantasy sports.
Sure.
Are
these the one kind of experience I had with these kind of sites was Monkey Knife Fight when that was around. It was one of those things where you have a game and you have two quarterbacks and you have to decide and put money on whether one quarterback will throw more than this amount of yards, another quarterback in the game will throw this amount of yards. Is that the kind of thing we're talking about? Is that what happened in there?
If you remember Monkey Knife Fight, it was player versus player. These are, would you do over this yards versus under this yards?
I did that. I did those.
But when it was Monkey Knife Fight, it wasn't just one player.
Oh, okay. So at Monkey Knife Fight, I had to
player
pick a
versus
game.
player.
It was the two quarterbacks.
It was
in
player
that
versus player,
game.
right?
Okay.
What they're offering is one player.
Okay. All right.
But it's sort of similar.
All right.
I don't know what the overall solution is going to be. A lot of the fantasy operators were pointing the finger at DraftKings and FanDuel as the people supplying this information, because FanDuel and DraftKings have been up in arms about what's going on with these other operators. I think they may be misguided in pointing the fingers at those two. I think you got to look at the Seminoles. Seminoles may have provided this information.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just speculating, but when you point fingers at one group, usually it's not that group.
Well, I don't. Florida, I don't know what the hell is happening
it's very
in Florida.
interesting.
But look, that was always a controversy, whether this is prop betting or whatever. But, FanDuel and DraftKings really don't do a lot of the I mean, you have to do all the rosters and things like that.
But if you think about if it was FanDuel or DraftKings giving this information, they're cutting their own throat because they'd have to leave the state too.
I don't see that was my point. It's a different kind of fantasy. You have to do a roster. These other sites are basically.
I
don't know
similar stuff. They
I think it's kind of weird that Florida is doing this, but
at this time,
yeah. So
right before they launch sports betting.
So
it's weird timing.
Yeah,
weird timing all the way around. But we'll see what happens. By the time this airs, they may have another piece of news that we will talk about at a next book report. Going over to Caesars, we've got reports coming from different outfits that Caesars Sportsbook will be rolling out something called Fire Bets.
Okay.
Basically, they're being called the Red Zone channel for micro betting. Kind of an interesting idea. It's basically when something immediate is happening in a game, like a goal line situation, like what the Red Zone does on TV. If it's within the Red Zone, they switch it over to there, and your focus is on there.
Yeah.
They're going to do that with micro betting.
So this is Caesars, right?
This is
Does that
Caesars.
mean I would have to keep signed into the Caesars app.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something. It takes so long for me sign in, then the authentication I have to do. They send me a text and things like that. So, I mean, if you're interested in micro betting and especially this feature,
you
Caesar,
have to be on.
You would probably have to keep signed on.
Well, if you think about it, with Caesars now starting to stream games,
yeah,
your people are going to be logged on anyway.
Yeah,
but they're going to, according to the reports, they're going to have a Fire Bets tab.
All right.
If this once this launches, this may launch by the time this airs again, but they're planning on rolling this out. And the example they gave in the stories, if the bases are loaded in a baseball game, the Fire Bets tab will shuffle to put that game up top, and then you'll have micro bets associated with that game. So basically,
it's a great way. Like I said, it's a great way to have people stay signed in. You know, it's one of those
falls under the player retention phrasing. So.
You know, I don't keep signed in to sports books very long.
No.
I do my bet and I kind of get off and take a look at the other stuff. But
go on with life.
You almost have to stay on for.
And pricing for this will be done partially in house between Caesars and SimpleBet.
Okay, great.
Chris Bevilacqua's outfit.
Absolutely great.
Last industry update for the week: a company called SumSub, SUMSUB.
Okay.
Announced the release of its responsible gaming solution, which is the first automated solution to provide verification tools, responsible gambling tools. It's the first automated software protocol that's going to be offered to their sportsbook partners.
Great.
They're saying it's the first. I don't know if they are actually the first.
I don't know. I have to take a look at it.
But it's going to be based upon their monitoring system and global compliance background, SumSub, in terms of giving it to the operators. Or basically, it's an automated set of rules for responsible gambling controls to help gaming operators detect deposit amounts disproportionate to players' income.
Okay.
Player raises or disables their gambling limits. They're going to check gaming session frequency and duration, as well as playing time. Basically, everything you do online in a sportsbook, sports betting operator site, they're going to be tracking it.
That's pretty cutting edge.
Yeah.
You know, that's some pretty interesting stuff. I am amazed at the technology in the entire sports betting industry. What's coming up? You know,
not only will this system help the operators with the different gambling regulations around the world, really, it also is going to reduce manpower, because they're going to spend less time doing the responsible gambling checks. With all this. So manual work time and costs for operators will go down if this solution works the way SumSub say it's going to work. So
I hope it does.
Very interesting. It's a very beneficial tool for the industry.
Absolutely.
That's it for the industry updates. We're going to finish up with our legislative roundup. Up the show, we're going to start off in North Carolina. Now, North Carolina was in the headlines a lot regarding moving very quickly toward launching sports betting as well as casino expansion.
I thought they were going to have it pretty quick, but I guess there's some speed bumps here.
Well, here we have the last draft of the North Carolina state budget. Besides removing the language for the 4 new casinos, they also include new requirements for mobile sports betting licensees. Rather than offering up 12 mobile licenses for sports betting in the state, the new language, basically they're calling it technical changes. And also, by the way, no one's taking credit for this change, which is kind of odd in and of itself. Mobile operators have to have a written designation agreement with a professional sports team, the owners of certain major sports facilities, NASCAR or PGA, to get a license.
Okay.
So basically, screw that 12 mobile license application process. Well, if you don't have this agreement, you can't get a license.
So that means Sportsbook XYZ, before they apply for a license, they have to have some agreement that they'll be an official sportsbook of a team or something like that, right?
Or a facility.
Okay.
Or the NASCAR or PGA Tour.
Okay.
So kind of interesting to see that new language pop up at the last minute. Basically, North Carolina is a mess right now. So we'll see what happens. But again, this was only a draft of the new budget. So there are more drafts coming down the road. Over in Massachusetts, 2 interesting instances happened. We had DraftKings appearing before the Mass Gaming Commission looking for an exception to that new regulation the state passed regarding the logo displays at stadiums. They have to have 21 plus or whatever,
Yes.
whatever
They
the age
have to
requirement.
have language
Age requirements.
They have to have responsible gaming language in their logo if they're displayed at a
Ballpark
sporting event or ballpark or something like that, right?
According to DraftKings, it's going to take several $100,000 to do this. And they asked for at least an exception for a couple different areas so that they can actually, comply with this.
Yeah.
Take some time and comply with it. They're talking like Fenway Park, Gillette Stadium, TD Garden. They got to change all of those.
Yeah, TD Garden, because, you got the I actually saw preseason hockey.
Yep.
That's how bad it's gotten for me. I'm watching preseason hockey. I can't wait. The Boston Bruins and New York Rangers.
Yep.
And, they were at the Garden, and I guess they would have to change all those logos and all the things there. So, and the Celtics, I know.
I have to admit, the TD Arena one surprised me because in their application for this exception, I did not know they had an embedded logo on the wooden floor for the Celtics.
I guess.
I did not know it was embedded. I thought that was just an overlay kind of thing.
Oh, you thought it was like a kind of a computer?
Yeah, I thought that was
generated-
CG.
Yeah. Well, you can't tell anymore now. I mean, one of the things that hockey is it on the boards, or is it like
Exactly.
or in the ice, or is it like put in by computer? But no, I can see the cost would be
Immense.
pretty big. I mean, and plus, I mean, I've seen those logos on the Garden floor and things like that. That language would have to be really big. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could you even see it?
Well, it depends on what the thing is, it's not just whether or not it has to be really big. They may be only allowed a certain amount of space to put the
that's
logo
what I
in,
mean.
which means they got to shrink the logo.
Shrink the logo and put the words bigger?
They gotta
or
figure out how to do
I
that.
don't know how that
Yeah.
would be done.
Well, Mass Gaming Commission said no.
Okay. Well,
So you got to do it.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, bite the bullet.
Yeah, they got until October 2nd when this airs.
Okay.
Still in Massachusetts, we got Penn Sports Interactive, basically Barstool Sports at
Yeah.
this time.
Okay.
They had an incident involving prop bets the book took wagers on prop bets that had already occurred. They didn't update the language.
Wow. Okay.
59 customers, 257 bets, 47 grand, almost 48,000 paid out.
I'm
They're
curious.
voiding the bets.
Yeah, I guess they'd have to. But I'm curious how that happened. I know they were in the process of what was going on. with Penn
That was what they
National.
were claiming.
Was that the problem in the transition?
Yes,
Something
it was a
got screwed up.
communications
Yeah,
issue.
I mean,
Yeah.
I could understand
Yes.
that, but you can't let that happen.
It's voided in Massachusetts.
Okay.
It's voided in Pennsylvania as well.
I was going to say, is there other instances in other states that happened?
And they're waiting for New Jersey.
Okay.
New Jersey's going to be ruling on it. And speaking of New Jersey, we got one quick story coming out of New Jersey. PointsBet, a Fanatics experience,
Jack's experience.
were fined for several betting violations. One was on the basketball game in the NCAA, St. Peter's.
Oh, yeah. St. Peter's is in New Jersey, in North Jersey. So.
It was a
And you're not in New Jersey. The rule is you're not allowed to bet on a college or university located within the state or a academic athletic event happening in the state.
So they were fined for taking, quote unquote, an illegal bet on those.
Yep.
They were also fined for taking bets on an esports tournament where one of the players was under the age of 18, which is illegal in New Jersey. So those two bets were voided. So this happened over like 6 months.
Okay.
And they just released the report now. Suffice it to say, everything was worked out. PointsBet, a Fanatics experience, and the DGE worked out a settlement.
Okay.
All done.
Hey, those things happen.
Yep. That's it for this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report. Press releases info at turnpikesportsradio.com. Been following along on TV. The ticker below us has even more news stories than we had a chance to cover in this half hour. Full print version, turnpikesports.us. Click on the blog button. That will be released after this show is published, and also you will see even more news stories on the print version.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.